Hello, my name is Paulette. I am 27 years old and I'm a single mother. I never planned on being a single mom. Of course, it just, as they say, it happened. Boy meets girl, girl meets boy, and something came from it. But something beautiful came from it. I started off dancing from when I was 11 years old. I loved it with a passion. I used to watch You Got Served and pause it and replay it just so I could pick up the different steps. So when I came to Nigeria when I was 12 years old, I continued with that passion and that love, and then it grew into something bigger. So that led me to eventually pursue a career in it and also get into a competition. So after the competition, I then found out that I was pregnant, and I felt like something was off. I didn't know what it was, but I just felt like my body wasn't the way it was before. So I went to the movies with a friend, and then afterwards I went to the pharmacy just to get pregnancy tests, just to test to see if there was anything, because I've never taken a pregnancy test before. I never really had to because I wasn't sexually active. So then once I took one pregnancy test, because I got 4, that was like 400 naira. And I took one, and then I saw there was a double mark, and then I took another one. I was like, maybe it made a mistake somewhere. So I took another one, and then I took the 4, and I waited for them, and then I saw, oh wow, this thing is saying that I'm pregnant. So immediately when I figured out that I was pregnant, I had already repented, because I'm a Christian. I had already repented from everything that I had done in the past. But I was like, okay, God, now what do I do? I am not really in support of abortion, but now how am I supposed to take care of this child on my own? Or am I even sure that I'm pregnant? Maybe you're just playing a joke on me or something like that. So I went about what I was doing. I confided in another friend, so they helped me get a more expensive test. That test showed up positive as well. So then I knew for sure that I was pregnant. Now, when I told the baby's father, immediately, from them being all nice and loving before, they turned and changed it around like, oh, no. Now you have to get an abortion. You're not, I don't want this to hold you back from your career. This is going to stop you from excelling in life. I have other things that I need to do. And then also they told me about a relationship that they said that wasn't there before, but all of a sudden it sprung up as now this new relationship had popped up that wasn't there before. They made me feel as if, we were exclusive, but only to find out later that we weren't exclusive and that they were actually still seeing someone else. So that kind of sent me crashing into a moment of depression, because I was like, now what am I going to do? I'm like, it really had, I found myself in bed, not really able to, because I was just trying to figure out what am I going to do? I mean, I do want to have a career. I do want to be successful in life, but I don't want to do it at the expense of killing my baby or eliminating my child. So I went to church with my mom, and from there it was like the pastor was speaking to me, funny enough. And after church, I was still very depressed. So then I didn't even enter the house because I was crying, and I went to the side of my house and I just said a prayer because I was given the number of a doctor to help me to get an abortion pill or something like that. So I called the doctor to find out about it, and he told me where I could get it. And then after I made that phone call, I just dropped it and I told myself, something just said inside my head. I said, even if I take the pill, I know for a fact that I'll probably vomit it out. So I said a prayer and I was like, God, I'm sorry. What am I supposed to do? Because I'm freaking out here. So what I heard clearly in my head was, tell your mom. And then I was like, why would something be telling me to tell my mom? And then I remembered that that not darkness, but I remembered that once you put things out in the light, it's harder for the enemy, the devil, to really have his way in your life. So I said, if I tell my mom, I know that's probably God telling me to tell my mom, because my mom would most definitely not push me to have an abortion. I didn't know how she was going to react, but I said, let me just tell my mom. So I told my mom. She was shocked. She took it in a lighter note. I'm grateful for that. She didn't curse me or throw a fit or anything like that, but she just told me straight up that she was just like, don't worry, we're going to get through this, and this is our baby. So from there, that's what really helped me to move forward. I would say the support of my mom, and then eventually the support of my sister, and also the support of my dad. I had to wait a while, maybe like till I was 6 months pregnant, until I told my dad. But I was really surprised. I had been praying the whole time through to tell him the right time when I was pregnant. And then when the time came, he took it in a good way, thankfully. He was still shocked, and he was more angry at the guy than me, but still. I would say the most difficult experiences is when no one knows but you, because you're left to face the decision alone. You're left to carry that burden alone. So when there's no one around you that's, helping you to get through something, it's actually, like I said, it's a burden. So that was actually the worst period, because I had become I would say I'm more of an optimistic person. I love to be upbeat. I love to be happy. So I had never been that depressed before, whereby I didn't want to get out of bed. So I think my mom even noticed that something was wrong, because she said, this is not you. So that was the hardest time during the pregnancy, is when nobody knew but me. And the father knew, but he was sending me pictures and videos on how abortion was good. So, that's also depressing as well. Something I don't want to do, someone is trying to force me to do. So it was just a battle in the whole thing. And then also thinking about I think that one of the biggest things is thinking about how people will perceive you. Oh, what will people say? People are going to call me a slut. People are going to call me a shao. People are going to say that she's been portraying herself as a good girl, but now look at what she's gotten herself into. People just paint you black as soon as you make a mistake. So that also came in my head, the shame of it, especially in this Nigeria. People, if you do anything that seems maybe out of line or immoral, then people can easily paint you black and judge you and condemn you completely. So the shame of it really kind of affected me as well. I think if people would just understand that people are people and not place people so high and think that they can't make, that nobody is above mistakes, and understand that even if somebody does make a mistake, it's not for you to point your finger at them, condemn them, say that you've ruined your life, that, you know, or make them feel worse. Rather, it's better for people to encourage others when they're going through things. Like, let's take it away from even someone getting pregnant. Let's say if someone is they're a drug they're having a drug issue and they confide in you about that drug issue, and if you put them down, that doesn't help them to get out of the drug usage. But rather, if you encourage them to, don't worry, we can get through this. I'll try and be checking up on you on a regular, so you know, we'll make sure that you get past this drug issue. I feel like that's what will help people more, rather than you pointing your finger at them and condemning them. So in the sense, if a parent or if a child is confiding in their parents about, and that's what's really helped me, like I'll say I'm extremely blessed because of my parents, because I know of different cases where people, they tell their parents and then they kick them out of the house, or they beat them there, or other horrendous things happen to them. Some people, they say that they'll kick the baby out of the child's, out of the mother's stomach. Like, just different things happen. So I would say it was a big blessing the way that my mom took it and the way my dad took it, because it helped me tremendously. And I would say a part of my progress and my success after even having having my daughter is because of how my parents have supported me. I would say, you know, being a single mom is not the end of your life, to be very honest. Things happen in life and we don't always have control over it. There are people who lose their parents and then they have 4 siblings to take care of. And they didn't bring that upon themselves. Life just happened to them. And some of them excel. Some of them excel. So they didn't have 2 heads, they didn't have 3 heads. So what makes us think just because we have a baby that's going to completely deter us from us being able to accomplish everything that we desire? Now, we may be delayed a little bit. It's going to be a little bit harder, yes. There are consequences that we have to face, yes, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to be able to achieve or accomplish everything that we have in our hearts to achieve. And you know what? Sometimes it's actually, what I found out, my daughter is such a blessing to me, because she's opened my eyes to be more focused, to be more conscious, to even strive for things that I didn't strive for before I had her. So I feel like she's definitely made me a better person. So sometimes when these trials come, if we don't let them break us, they can always make us so much better. Like, they can make us, what's the word? When in the Bible, there's a scripture where the Bible's talking about how God molds us. He takes us through the fire, so he refines us. So sometimes these trials, or most times these trials, if we don't allow them to break us, they usually turn us into gold.